Up again.
You've fancied a mountain bike for some time, so you've come to the right place, the bike shop. You've found one you really like. It's time to bite the bullet and go for it. And you're going to need some kit. And finally, some top technical advice on riding off-road and basic in-the-field maintenance. What to eat, what to drink, how to get fit, how to stay fit, all delivered in an easy-to-follow programme aimed at the complete beginner and the more experienced off-road enthusiast.
So the big ride promises what money cannot buy, a complete mountain bike adventure. And this is where it's going to happen, Mother Nature's great outdoors. Who better to get down and dirty on the trails with than mountain bike expert Justin Loretz. For the last 15 years, Justin's been writing for Britain's top biking mags, interviewing the world's pro riders and reviewing the latest bikes and gadgets. He's also competed in some of the toughest races on the planet.
Wicked.
All the qualities to take and test these 4 amateur cyclists on a real big ride. In this awesome adventure, our solo riders will team up to tackle muddy single track and tricky skill sections. The question is, will they emerge better, more confident riders?
First up is Queen fan Philip Hooper, who likes to ride his bicycle in the woods near his home. He's a strong rider, but absolutely hates logs and rocks. Sorry Phil, there's plenty where you're going. Adrienne loves riding her bike and eating chocolate cake. She has competed in races and is by far the most technically competent rider in the team, so I'm going to have to find something to trip her up. Ed is our youngest and most inexperienced rider. This isn't even his bike. He borrowed it from a mate. So the next couple of days for Ed are going to be eventful and most likely very painful. Our final team member is Chris, who currently rides on the very straight, flat and nicely gravelled towpaths near his home. So ups, downs and sticky mud will all be new to him.
For our very first programme, we have come to Avan, 20 miles west of Cardiff, here in beautiful South Wales. Over £1 million has been invested in building brand new mountain bike trails through some of the country's finest landscapes. One man who knows them like the back of his hand is the one that helped to build them.
How many kilometres of trails sort of roughly are there at the moment?
We're up to 110 now.
The guys who design the trails for mountain bikers, I guess, are mountain bikers.
Oh, definitely.
So
yeah.
in some respects they probably understand the flow.
They've been built as a dedicated mountain bike track from scratch, with the riders in mind.
You know roughly where we're riding because we've looked at the map. What do you think our riders have got in store?
A good time. Basically lots of swoopy drops, fast flowing track. We've got some technical stuff thrown in, so they get some rock steps and everything.
Fantastic. So I think we have a good time.
Oh, definitely.
Brilliant. All we need now is some sunshine.
Nick and his team have built some amazing trails, but the Skyline Trail is truly exceptional and the perfect place to start our ride. Skyline promises breathtaking vistas and miles of single track. It will provide Justin with an opportunity to assess his motley crew and chivvy them along to the first skill section. The ride begins high up in the hills and in the mist. With some tough terrain ahead, Justin's dished out some bikes that are up to the job for those in the team that need them. Ed's mate is well happy, as he's got his bike back, and Ed's new one just needs a few tweaks before the team heads off. As the sun burns off the mist, the team's energy and enthusiasm begin to shine on the trail. What begins as wide, dry trails used by forestry trucks soon turns into sublime single track, snaking through the trees.
Whoa!
The adrenaline's pumping as speeds increase in this nose-to-tail ride around the rolling hills overlooking the Glencairn Valley. And while the riders take in the scenery, Justin can begin to assess just how fit the team actually are. With 10 more miles of single track ahead of them, let's hope the team are holding something in reserve for their first challenge, Skill Section 1. It's a small, steep and slippery rock climb that's just simply a warm-up for what's to come. This is The Big Ride, and these are 4 riders who Justin Loretz is going to try and educate in the ways of the mountain bike in just 2 days. To check out the riders' skills, Justin leads the team towards Skill Section 1. Our testing ground is Avan Forest Park, just west of Cardiff, which offers some challenging single-track riding. First job for Justin is to get the team used to riding muddy and rocky surfaces before leading them straight into Skill Section 1. Mud is slippery stuff, and it forces our riders to constantly adapt their riding style to maintain balance, drive and braking. On board with Phil, things get pretty close as Chris catches his pedal on a rock and the riders begin to work as a team. It's all looking good as the team charge into Skill Section 1, but as Chris falls foul to the mud, a new problem is created for Phil and Ed.
Okay guys, come on!
With Justin and Adrienne at the top of the climb to egg them on, the 3 lads are going to have to begin the climb from a standing start.
Guys, that was superb. What did you all think of that last section?
Those rocks are nearly as slippery as they actually looked.
Yeah, you're right. The rocks were quite grippy that time.
Back wheel started spinning and lost balance and went over. Got up again, went over again. So had to abort.
I was all over the shop. It's like butter, that is.
That's about an hour.
We'd shed all our mud and left it on the stones for you.
I know. If I'd have been at the front, it'd have been no problem.
Quite often it's handy to keep your elbows low and just keep kind of gently moving your body back and forth, just very small amounts, and you'll just be able to fine-tune where that weight distribution is.
With the team more confident about riding through slippery mud, it's time for a short blast.
I followed Justin and he was going sideways then as well.
Straight into Skill Section 2.
Okay, so as you can probably just about see if you come up close to the fence here, there's a rock step. It's not particularly tall. The tricky part about it is the fact that the 2 steps that you see are about a wheel's length apart. I'm going to have a quick roll over it. You'll see the line that I'm taking. So, see you in a second.
Just like that.
There's never one around when you want one, and then all of a sudden 3 turn up.
No, it's okay. I'm going to do it exactly the same as you.
I saw the front one go.
No,
I've got to miss that
I'll
truck
do it the
again.
same.
The hardest part of this section is done superbly well, even if I say so myself. The front wheel is beginning to lift. If we move on a little bit, the front wheel is now sufficiently raised that it avoids banging head-on into the second step. So my bike rolls smoothly over the 2 steps. My downfall occurs when riding off the rock. I haven't necessarily taken the best line. My rear wheel comes off the side and I go over. So there we have it. A deliberate mistake, perfectly executed.
Right then, let's try that again. Rock step, take 2.
OK, before our riders are pitted against the rock steps, let's break for some profoundly wise advice on mechanical matters from our resident expert, who we call the Guru.
The first thing we're going to do is show you how to fix a flat. First thing you'll want to do is release your brake. To do that, you grab the brake caliper, squeeze it together, pull the noodle away from the slot and release the cable. That allows you to open up the brakes. The next thing you'll need to do is pull the quick release lever open, and we're going to do that right now. I'll show you here. Unscrew the quick release skewer further in order to clear the safety catch. So now I'm going to show you how to locate the puncture. The first thing you need to do is remove your valve cap and a little ring that holds the valve in place. You grab a tire lever and just pry up the one side of the tire over the rim. You grab your second tire lever, put it next to the first one, run the tire lever forward and just pull the whole tire off in one stroke. So let's try that. You can see how, if you just run that along like that. We're going to take the inner tube out, hook up our pump to the valve. It's fairly quick, but I've located it simply by hearing the hiss. It's what we call a snake bite from probably hitting a rock or something along those lines, where the tire gets pressed down and pinches the inner tube. Now, we're going to take a look at this patch kit here that'll essentially contain a bit of sandpaper or emery cloth. You'll have some glue in there, and then a variety of patches. One little technique is to place the tube around the pump. Just use it as a support, and then you can use the sandpaper to scuff up and rough up the area. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you want to rough up an area that's quite a bit larger than the patch that you're going to use. That's pretty important. Now you don't actually want to touch that with your fingers to get any oil on it or anything. Just blow on it a little bit to blow away the dust. The next thing you'll want to do now is apply the glue. Just start it from the middle and then work your way outward, and you can use a finger to spread it around a little bit. You want to spread that around pretty quick. Wait up to about 5 minutes, letting the glue dry thoroughly, so it's got to go completely matte.
With Justin's dramatic demonstration of how not to ride the slippery steps still fresh in the minds of the riders, it's their turn to rise to the challenge.
Right then guys, well you've seen second time around that it's a doable thing. Chris, you're up first.
Let's look at Chris's first attempt in detail. You can see Chris makes a simple mistake with his timing. He doesn't lift the front wheel before the second step, causing the front wheel to hit it. His rear wheel goes up in the air, and Chris comes off.
You want to get a couple of good strong pedals in so that you're not trying to really put too much drive through the tyre as it goes over the rock. And that way you're going to keep spinning, hopefully, to an absolute minimum.
Go on, Chris.
Go on, Chris. That's it! Yeah! Keep it going! Oh, no, my bike!
What's Justin's bike?
Right then, AD, you're up next. Number 2.
Justin, have a go.
Go on, AD.
I got it. Yes! Wasn't that just like yours?
I feel so much better, I really do.
Actually, Adrienne almost makes it, when, unnerved by the drop to the right, she becomes unbalanced and falls. And without any consideration for my own safety, I instantly put out my hands to catch her. What the camera picks up is a potentially embarrassing situation involving my left hand. With lightning speed reactions, I was able to move my hand to a more acceptable part of Adrienne's body. So the bike wasn't damaged, Adrienne wasn't hurt, and I was the chivalrous hero.
It is significantly more slippery than it actually looks.
It's really slippery. Can I have another go?
Of course you can.
Come on, man.
It's fun. It would be more fun, but... Come on, baby. You can do it. Come on, my love.
Come on, my love.
Come on. Oh, I forgot the engine today. But I didn't sit on that bit. Bye.
See you tomorrow.
I think we call that sort of stutter, but she's more or less through. Right, next rider up is Phil. What sort of gear are you in there?
I'm in middle ring, big back.
Nice and even, not too much power once you get actually into the section. Just give it a go, that's all there is to it. What can I say? Learn from the master. Excellent. That was absolutely superb. That was textbook.
Made that look very...
And he's the one that was more freaked out about it than anyone else.
Phil is relaxed and is focused on the exit of the skill section. If you notice, he pedals at a smooth, steady rate, and by selecting a low gear, the tyres continue to grip the rock. With this technique and a well-timed lift of the front wheel, Phil climbs the steps in a fluid run.
Very easy, mate.
That's as easy as it is though, Ed,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Piece of cake, eh?
Oh, my son. Oh, my son. Oh.
Cracked my...
That's my hand.
Oh, absolutely nailed my in the top tube. Oh.
It's a good job you missed both your legs.
Full of enthusiasm, but light on technique, Ed charges into the second step. The forward momentum is completely lost and jars the tail of the bike, sending Ed crashing down. My second catch of the day.
Right, I'm going to do it now.
Now you've had it. This is good. All revved up. Go on, Ed. Go on, muscles. Come on. Oh.
That's what I did.
Undeterred, Ed goes for a second attempt. Again, the forward momentum is lost by the impact, and standing over the bars, pumping too high a gear, Ed's rear wheel is left spinning on top of the step. A classic case of power over finesse leads to another unsuccessful attempt.
Come on, one more.
Yes.
Third time.
To ensure success third time around, Ed chooses a more appropriate gear.
No, it's good.
Fine vintage of a gear, that one. That is exactly what we were looking for. That was exactly what we were looking for. But was the price too high?
So, whilst Ed nurses his deflated ego, let's rejoin the guru for the conclusion of his puncture repair.
Can I
Not officially.
Letting the glue dry thoroughly, so it's got to go completely matte and it can't be shiny. The next step is to peel away the part of the patch that's being applied to the tube. Usually the foil part gets taken away. So we're going to put the patch on, try to get it centered correctly, and you just press it down. Now, what you want to do is work that patch a bit with your thumbs, apply a bit of pressure. Another thing I'll do is maybe wrap it around the pump again, or over my knee, and just kind of work that patch over with some pressure. You can use your thumbs, you can maybe grab your the back of the tire lever and give it a good rub. Now my experience has been that if you try to peel away this little mylar bit, sometimes it'll actually pull away the patch. So the best thing in my opinion is to keep it on there. Just leave it like that and put it back into your tire. That's what we're going to do next. First thing you do is insert the valve into the valve hole of the rim, then pull the bead of the tire back over the top of the tube and tuck that area in, like I've just done there. Okay. Now the next step is to tuck the inner tube into the opening of the tire. Now the important part is not to get the inner tube pinched between the tire and the rim. Just make sure the tube isn't caught underneath it. So we pull this tube back over by hand. Now when you get to this stage, you'll find that it can sometimes become a little bit tight. Now normally on a mountain bike tire, you should be able to pull this over by hand this way. So now we're going to go ahead and inflate the tire. It helps if you put your little ring that holds the valve back on. It'll keep the valve from going back into the tire. Go ahead and install your pump onto the valve, lock it down. Now with these mini pumps nowadays, it takes quite a few extra strokes to get these things inflated. You generally want about 45 pounds of pressure. Now some of these pumps come with a gauge, but if you don't have a gauge, you'll just want to feel the firmness of the tire. In this case, it's still a little bit soft, but should be okay for a front wheel. Once you've installed it on the bike and you get onto the bike, you'll see the deflection of the sidewall. You learn to identify what amount of deflection is appropriate for your type of riding. So that's something you probably pick up through experience, but basically you want the tire to have some shape and some firmness. So now we're going to clamp the wheel in the front fork while centering it between the brake blocks. It's very important to understand how a quick release actually works. When you actuate the quick release lever through its entire travel, which is a half turn, it actually squeezes the fork blades together with great force. Now the lever should begin to bind at about the quarter point, so that the remainder of the travel, you should have to use a fair bit of force to close it. In order to adjust the force of the quick release lever, you need to tighten up this side of it with your thumb and forefinger. Now you'll do a few turns. Now that seems pretty good, so right around there. Then you simply push your palm against the lever and bring it up with a fair bit of force, and your wheel is locked down safely. Now, you might want to double check your brake again to make sure it's centered, and we're looking pretty good there. So that's it. That's how you fix a flat.
Today's skill sections may be over, but the ride's got a final sting in the tail. A grueling climb back to camp.
The key to this long hill climb is to keep hydrated and pace yourself. That means sit down and turn a sustainable gear.
Oh, it's like the Tour de France.
But for young, fit Ed, it's time to stand up and blaze the trail.
Chris, on the other hand, appears dehydrated and is straggling behind.
To keep together as a team, Justin and the others wait for him on the descent.
Gang's all here.
For the team, it's an exhilarating final race back to base, tired, hungry and muddy from their first day on the Avan trails.
Chaps, we have returned. I thought I wouldn't feel that kind of speed unless I was skiing.
I'm going to get in the shower first, a huge queue.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Just don't drop the soap, alright? Go on the big ride, expecting fun and excitement. But what do you get?
Thank you very
New hairdo. Awesome.
Phil loves his new look, but has today's ride been a trial or a trail of passion?
Good evening. What an excellent day that was.
Yeah, I've had a really good time.
Still buzzing from it, I'm knackered now.
I was literally shaking after that first technical section.
We learned a lot of skills.
Justin, it's been a great help.
I really enjoyed it, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Here's to tomorrow.
It may be lights out for the riders, but for Justin, nature has a special calling.
Brilliant. Hold that, Jess.
Naked in Wales on a hillside.
Welcome back to The Big Ride, a 48-hour mountain bike adventure where 4 amateur riders are getting the chance to learn the muddy off-road art under the tutelage of expert biker Justin Loretz. Our first 2 skill sections have proved very tricky, but the team have stuck with it and finally Justin's lessons are making sense.
Learn from the master.
It's day 2, and having brushed up on their bike skills, it's time for the team to face their fears and tackle the final skill section.
Baby panic,
Seven o'clock, morning of day 2. Early. Legs are hurting, everything's aching. Time to wake up! Ta-da! Alright guys, you ready to go this morning?
Get out of your mother!
Achy legs, where are they? Cramping there, that's me. Hey, I don't know.
I swear, you'll have to peel it away from me.
Oh, it's a pixie. It's a little Welsh one, look. Oh, hello! There's your ass.
It's alright actually. Nothing seems to be hurting too much.
So what about it, Chris? How you feeling today?
Oh, I'm okay, but I need more sleep.
How much more sleep?
Like a couple of hours.
And how's Tonto this morning?
He's looking well, but his chain is really horrible.
Oh dear. Tonto got a gritty chain this morning.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah, maybe alright.
Yeah, there's no respite today. Today we're bringing bodies back, that's it. That's how hard it is.
Today, the team faces a 17-mile trail known as The Wall, which features a perfect mix of terrain to test and improve our riders' mountain bike skills.
Well, right then, guys. This is the start of the ride proper. We've all got puncture repair kits and water and basic tools. I think the ride today is going to be about 17 or 18 miles. It's going to be reasonably technical. I think we're going to have some fun. Let's go.
The Wall begins with a very pleasant surprise, a wicked downhill.
I'm a-going!
After a day with the team, Justin's getting to know the riders like his own family.
Tell me what it is then, Ed. Chris, rather.
Go again, we've got to do it again. It's so good.
It's
So good. I want to bring the friends. It was cool.
There's nothing like a downhill to blow away the cobwebs, and much to the rider's surprise, it's as demanding as the climbing. In fact, there's nearly a crash when Ed's front wheel got hooked up in a fast turn.
Got me, I almost lost it then.
As Ed has learned, the ability to control your bike at speed requires confidence in your braking system. So we'll head to the guru for a rundown on maintaining that vital bit of your bike.
An important thing to look at, if not the most important thing before you hit the trail, is the condition of the brakes. The first thing you'll do is give the brake a squeeze. If you get a situation where the brake lever strikes the 2 fingers on the grip before it's actually hitting the front wheel, then you know that the cable is too slack. And then it's quite easy to inspect the brake pads and check to see where they are positioned relative to the rim. In this case, it's quite clear that this one here is not parallel to the line of the rim, and the one on the other side is actually way off. So we need to line those up again, and we'll probably also need to take up a bit of cable slack. So we're going to check the grooves, and I'm having a look at both sides. You can see the right brake pad is actually quite good, and the left brake pad is looking good too. You've got a fair bit of groove there. Let's go ahead and adjust the brake pads first. When you squeeze the brake, you can see that the pad is clearly not hitting the rim in the right spot. And the surface area of the brake pad wants to be using up most of the surface area of the rim without hitting the tire, and without hanging below the level of the braking surface area. Now we're going to set that one up here. You loosen up the Allen bolt, and the pad can be slipped up and down and rotated at different angles. Simply sight the pad along the rim and position it so that it's just in the right spot below the tire, and tighten it down. Give the brake a squeeze and see what kind of adjustment you've got there. You notice that when the brake is squeezed, the pad actually arcs downward a little bit and misses a portion of the rim. So let's see if we can raise the pad up just a little bit more without hitting the tire. To keep the brakes from squeaking, you want the front of the pad to hit a little bit before the back of the pad. I'm going to angle it a bit at the front and then tighten it down once again. And that'll get me the adjustment we're looking for. I think we're good. Now, an important thing is that the pad doesn't hit the tire. That can wear a hole through the tire and you can get a blowout halfway down a long descent. That one's not in line with the curvature of the rim, so I'm going to loosen that up, drop it down, line it up, hold it in place. I'm also towing it in. I'm pushing it with my thumb to the front. I'm nipping up the nut, and that's pretty much the pad adjustment there. You shouldn't be able to move the pad with your fingers. If you can twist it with your hands, then you probably need to tighten it up a little bit more.
Afan Forest has some of Wales's most challenging trails, and this narrow, gnarly, tree-rooted roller coaster of rocks will have our riders facing their fears in this, the ultimate skill section.
What we're going to look at here is how to read the trail. Now, contrary to popular belief, the best way to learn these things is not just to charge headlong into it, it's to actually put the bikes down for a minute and walk through. Okay. First part of this section is a tight gate of trees. So obviously it's important that you arrive well balanced and well centered so you're not wobbling and catching a handlebar into there. That's fairly straightforward. The next section, as you can see, you've got roots and rocks. That means unweight the bars very slightly and just let the suspension take the hits all the way through. You can see more or less the straight line that people are taking because it's wearing out this rather nice piece of wood. So you're nice and central, you're clipping, but you're keeping a nice straight line. It's going to give you a good entry into the next section. It's fairly open. My advice to you really is to go as high as you can into this, because as you notice, the gateway between the rock and the tree here actually angles back towards the left. Obviously if you come at it low, you're cutting your angle of attack down. You can't actually get the bike through the gap, so you're going to have to come high as you can to make your way through this gap. So just stay centered and relaxed. If you need to use this left hand side of the trail, feel free. The next section you can see coming out is a small climb ahead of you. So here's the opportunity now, if you're not in the right gear, to make that gear change and then to power up, because you need the revs at this point. Don't be trying to apply them up there. This is the first little climb that we come to. It's more of a little power climb really, so as I said before, make your gear selection early, get the revs in early, because you don't really want to be trying to apply too much power as you come up this. What you've actually got here is a small step, which is nicely angled down onto another step. Again, it's slightly coming away with the camber of the hillside, but at the same time, you'll notice it's cut away there, giving you a nice little groove, if you like, a little channel to aim your front tyre at. Once we come through this section, there's a nice little flat bit there before the next technical section. Phil, now you were a bit worried, obviously, about slippy, slidey rocks before. What are your thoughts at this point?
I'm seriously concerned here. My riding's open, fast, dry. I don't like wet, slippery rocks. I do not like slippery roots. I'm seriously concerned. Maybe panic, I don't know yet.
Okay, so has anybody like Phil got any worries about this section?
Coming into rocks, should you be hitting them square or should you be kind of trying to just cut across and just looking for your angle straight through?
Try and hit them at 90 degrees like roots. The more extreme the angle that you try and hit it at, the more chance you have of slipping. Okay. Simple as that.
I'll bear that in mind.
Okay, right, well, time for me to put my money where my mouth is and have a run through for you.
Yes, come on, let's see you do it. Come on, let's push him off as he goes through as well.
Prove it.
So good to know the team are behind me. Well, here goes. You must aim the bike exactly through the centre of the trees, leaving plenty of room for your shoulders. Once cleanly through, it's vital to aim for the high ground towards the boulder, or you won't get around the extreme left. Stay loose and relaxed. Let the suspension soak up the small roots and rocks, while you select the correct gear for the next section. You need to apply the power early, before the rise, so you're not pedalling over the wet rocks, avoiding the need for lots of torque, which could make the tyres slip. Stay centred and let the bike roll out of the section.
That was a bit touch and go, wasn't it, towards the end?
Right, who's first? He's good at this, isn't he?
Before the team are unleashed onto this tricky skill section, it's time to return to the guru for the conclusion of his session on brake adjustments.
The next step is to make sure that your cable is in good shape. The cable is made up of small strands of wire that are woven together. And basically all of these strands are important. Every one should be in good shape. If any one of these strands are broken, the rest of the cable could fail. The areas to look for are where the cable is pinched by the anchor bolt. That often will cut the cable. And the other area is where you get friction between the brake lever and this barrel adjuster here. If you line up the slots in the barrel adjuster and the barrel adjuster lock ring, it's quite easy then, once you've opened your brake, to pull the cable out of that slot and just inspect that whole area. In this case, you've got some old grease there, but the cable's in good shape still. So now we're satisfied that this cable's in good shape. We'll hook this back up, give the brake a squeeze and see how it feels. It feels pretty good, but it's still a bit loose. There's two ways you can tighten up the brake cable. The easy way is by using this barrel adjuster. And by simply turning it counterclockwise, you basically lengthen the cable outer, thus shortening the cable. Now in this case, the cable's actually quite slack still, so you'll probably want to pull the cable through a bit via the pinch bolt. Go ahead and back the barrel adjuster back down, because you want to use that later. Right, so we're going to tighten up this cable by using the pinch bolt and drawing the cable through a little bit to take up the slack. Unscrew the pinch bolt while holding the cable. You'll notice that the piece of cable that's been pulled through has a little bit of damage caused by the pinch bolt. Now in this case it's still, I would say, safe to ride because the damage area has no bearing on the brake pull. But if you find that you've got this type of kinks or breakage on this side of the cable, over here, you'll probably want to replace your cable because that could fail. You probably want to nip up your barrel adjuster and make sure the lock ring is snug up against the brake lever body. And that will immobilize the lock ring and keep it from rattling loose. We're pretty good there. I noticed that this barrel adjuster here is a little stiff. We can put a little bit of oil on that. And that'll make sure that it doesn't seize up. One area that causes friction and poor brake feel is this noodle here. A quick way to check for that is simply by opening it up, and you can slide it back and forth along the cable. Drop a couple of drops of oil down there. Now obviously if you've gotten a bit of grit or mud into this noodle, you might have to pull the cable all the way through and clean it. So the last thing we want to do is just center the brake, and you'll notice that when I squeeze the brake lever, only one side is returning. The way to take care of that is by adjusting the spring tension via these small adjustment screws. Let's tighten this one up and it'll have the effect of bringing it over that way. I'm going to turn it clockwise and that increases the spring tension. You see now this one's returning almost same as the other side. Let's loosen this side up a little bit. That screw there and this one are adjusted at slightly different positions. That's the kind of tolerance difference you'll get on an average pair of brakes. Looks real good. We're ready to ride.
With the sacrificial lambs ready, the gentlemen are going to let the lady go first.
I just bumble through and sort of go, oh, whoops, bang, bang. But I get, might get through some of it. So, yeah, there's no beauty in my riding.
For someone like Adrienne, it's going to be less of a challenge because she's got that little bit more experience.
Neat, tidy.
Woo! Oh, dearie me. I'll do that again in a minute. Woo! Whoops! Woo! Yay!
Not bad first time through.
He's a deliberate, he's a methodical guy. He's not going to take any chances.
Justin's given us a good look at the track, so we know what to expect. It's just seeing whether or not we can actually pull it off or not. So, yeah, it should be good. Looking forward to it.
He's neat, he's tidy. Oh!
Booker, was doing well as well.
I was about to say, he's a natural mountain biker when you nailed yourself. It was looking good.
Roll 2.
Oh, unlucky. Chris, don't worry, just pick it up and keep the flow rolling. Just take a deep breath, get yourself sorted, and roll.
So with half of the team through skill section 3, there's just the dynamic duo left to go.
Doesn't matter where you look at it from, it gets worse.
You just trundle through it and make it to the end. Without falling off, I'll be happy.
Welcome back to the final part of the big ride. Our 48-hour trail-tearing manic mountain bike adventure has almost come to an end. Justin's tested the riders with tricky technical skill sections, leaving the toughest till last. Adrienne and Chris sort of made it, and now it's time for Phil and Ed.
Phil, I can smell the fear. Phil knows he can do this. In his heart of hearts, it's just a matter of whether Phil can get his head round it.
I'm going to just hopefully just trundle through it and make it to the end. That's all I'm looking for. Without falling off, I'll be happy.
That is really neat and tidy. Plenty of revs, keep it straight. Nice, over the rock. Is he cleaning it? He's cleaning it. First time through. Fantastic.
Ed, I feel, is in attacking mode at the moment. He's either going to make this or he's going to have an accident with it. It doesn't matter where you look at it from, it gets worse. Whereas if you walk through it, it seems fine. Whereas if you go up the hill and look at it from any other angle, it looks really tricky. No.
Guys, that was fantastic. Adrienne making far too much noise, enjoying yourself far too much for my liking.
That's what it's about. And I fell off everywhere. Yay!
Adrienne is riding smoothly,
Neat,
but
tidy.
misses a boulder in her peripheral vision and stalls as the bike is knocked offline. Breaking her concentration and focus, Adrienne pinballs across the trail, hitting another boulder. It's a messy, staccato run, but she's managed to stay on and laugh it off.
Yay!
Chris, almost too much thought, I think, probably, into that one. Really nice though, because I was about to say when you made your first mistake, natural mountain biker. You just looked great. Coming into that first section, you just had the moves, it was looking really fluid. Just gotta keep picking it up. It's tidy.
Chris is using too high a gear, and when his bike hits a tree root, he simply doesn't have the torque required to keep moving. On his second approach, there is some hesitation, and, as with the first attempt, he doesn't have enough forward momentum to get the bike over the small obstruction. Chris shakes off the embarrassment and, focusing on his exit, weaves through the obstacles, completing the skill section.
Behind you.
Ed has finally managed to combine his boundless enthusiasm with the right gear selection and a little finesse.
I enjoyed that. Edge of my pants. So close to coming off. Every time.
Show me your hands. Hold them out.
I'm shaking.
Look at the adrenaline going through those veins. Phil absolutely shaking, but cleaned it first time through.
The key to Phil's success is that he has taken on board all my tips. He's pedalling a nice low gear, he's looking forward down the trail, and he's remaining nice and relaxed.
That was awesome. That was absolutely everything that I told you to do. You did. You just thought long about the whole trail and rode the whole thing. Superb.
Phil provides the perfect ride to end the final skill section. I couldn't have scripted it better myself.
Fantastic.
It's amazing what a big ride can do for you. In just 2 days, the riders have shared all the thrills and spills of a real mountain biking adventure.
Mechanical failure.
A stone in his hoop for love.
It's been fun, and the team have learned to ride better. More than just a ride, the team have experienced the spirit of mountain biking. They've eaten like kings and become at one with nature.
Because I've had a great day.
What a trip. It's the end of the riding for now, and Justin heads off for a new adventure. Whether the riders have truly benefited from the experience, only time will tell.
The big ride experience was absolutely superb.
And I felt like I'd been away for about a week.
Ed and Chris really got the spirit of it.
Being in the group, egging each other on was what it was all about.
Good kind of social event to cycle along with people.
What I have learned I can put into practice with a lot more confidence, and I maybe do something that generally I wouldn't think about doing.
What I used to have fun on, they don't test me no more.
As long as it feels good, it doesn't matter. And hey, if you fall off, that's part of it.
But it's definitely opened, it's broadened my horizons.
It doesn't matter where you are in the UK, there just seems to be trails everywhere within kind of 20 miles of you.
Once you can get somebody off their sofa into somewhere like Afan, they won't want to go back.
Go for it, get your bike and get cycling.